Thank everyone for coming out today, and I want to start by having our minor boys groups please come out to the field. I'll try to talk. We're very lucky this year. In previous years, we've only had a handful of major teams, sometimes struggling to get 3 or 4. Back when we played, there was 10 or 11. So our major groups this year, we have 5 teams total. Lauren, how many minors? 11 minor teams. So we have several minor D, which is a little bit more coach pitch with a little bit of introduction to kid, and then the minor A groups are for the most part all kid pitch. Parents and players from our 95, 96, 97 seasons, if you would, please come to the third base line. Parents, players from our 95, 96, 97 season, please come down to the third base line. Typically don't like to write anything down, but if I stand and talk like normal, we may be here through Easter dinner and Jason's ready to watch some baseball. Honestly, once I started writing this and I got through about 4 or 5 pages, I still realized we'd probably be here for a few minutes, but it's been waiting 26 years, and I think that it's, I think that we need to do things right. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out to Barbersville Little League today, especially on a holiday weekend for this very special event. I need to thank our entire board for everything they've done this year, and together, in a very short period of time, we've paved a road for Barbersville Little League that will remain unmatched. In addition, I'd like to thank our very own Donnie Plyven, the Tri-State Trophy, Nathan Barnes of Assured Pharmacy, as well as his wife Jessica Barnes of Covered Bridge Vinyl for their donations that has helped make today come together. For those that don't know, my name is Tyler Christian. I'm the Vice President of the Major Boys Group over the Little League. I'm a very proud player and alumni of Barbersville Little League, Cabell Midland High School, and the Thundering Herd of Marshall University. The white and red Barbersville Little League has always run through and touched me a little different than the other alumni. It's touched me in a way only very few players can relate. Barbersville Little League Baseball and the fields you boys play on are very much responsible for raising myself, those men that are standing on that line, and many more over 9 months, a year, throughout the 90s. Alongside those men, are the parents that held this league and community together as they watched their children go through the unimaginable. When folks say it takes a village, those parents took things to another level. And although that was something I did not completely understand at 12 years old, their guidance is something I'm now forever grateful for. Told you there's 5 pages. When deciding to run for a board position at Barbersville Little League, I had 3 goals. I wanted to be part of something that I could step back 15, 20, 30 years from now and say I helped do that. Facility upgrades, a vision, and a plan. My second goal, try to not offend and upset people while accomplishing number 1. And in vintage Tyler fashion, this is a goal that is still very much a work in progress. And number 3, which was my main goal, was to retire number 15. We're here today for something much bigger than ourselves. Today we are here to honor Jason Hensley and his family. Jason was part of the long-standing team of Tower Food Fair and was coached by our beloved and never forgotten D. Atkins. Jason's jersey, he was number 14 during the season when he played for Tower, and your colors have changed greatly. That's one of Jason's jerseys. Jason played third base, he pitched, he took daddy hacks when he was swinging, and he was an instrumental part of starting what I call a dynasty in Barbersville Little League. Barbersville Little League had a few 12-year-old state championships in years prior to 1995, but our 10-year-old team in the 1995 season began a tradition this league strives to uphold every year. The 10-year-olds and coaches from that season, many of which you see standing on third base, were the very first District 1 8 to 10-year-old state champions. After that season, the level of play and championships this league has won in softball and baseball is not matched anywhere. We were 9-0 and hardly contested. This 2023 season, we have progress with our facilities, and with progress comes frustrations and aggravation. Many of our teams have hardly been on fields during these renovations, as our softball field is still being finished. Back then, our 1995 10-year-old team practiced on a glorified kickball field in the Guyana State subdivision, lost a bucket of balls every practice into a river, and we came out hot during game 1 against Lavalette Little League and never turned back. 22 runs later, everyone else just got out of the way. The next 2 seasons, all we could think about was being on SportsCenter, making it to St. Petersburg, Florida, where the regional tournament was played, and sliding down the hill at Williamsport. We were poised to spank former Major League Baseball player Todd Frazier and the Toms River, New Jersey team in the Little League World Series that year. Unfortunately, we ran into a couple teams at our 12-year-old state tournament that I'm all but positive drove themselves to the game. There's nothing more intimidating than having someone with a partial goatee at 11 and 12 years old throw fastballs at you from 46 feet. The one and only thing our parents ever let us down on during our childhood was their ability to check birth certificates of the other teams. And boy, did they drop the ball on that one. Aside from running into what seemed like a high school JV team, tragedy struck. In July of 1997, before our first 12-year-old All-Star game, Jason was involved in an accident and passed away. A team of children were forced to grow up way too fast, and a group of parents were faced with the unimaginable. To this day, I'm convinced the only way we made it through that event was because of baseball and those relationships. Our team met in the first base dugout, the Lions Field, now what I'm calling the Jack after Jack McKenna. The rest of this experience was a teary blur. As a team, we signed a baseball in honor of Jason, that to this day is buried about 18 inches behind home plate. And our lives were forever changed. That season started a tradition many of you have seen, but don't have much background on. Years after and to this day, all the mommies come out and take picture of their child's all-star vests hanging on the fence before games. This fortunately has become a tradition of smiles, happiness, and most importantly, respect. The jersey that we have hanging right now that is on the fence is what started it all. The exact red jersey undershirt from our All-Star season in 1997 that again started the tradition is right there. That jersey for every game was hung up on our dugout in remembrance of Jason. There's nothing that put a bigger smile on my face when I spoke with Jason's mother and she told me that this still existed. That jersey is what held a group of boys and a community together to this day. Jason's jersey and the legacy he left should be a reminder that there are more important things than the game of baseball. Players standing here today, please understand this. The game of baseball is just that, it's a game. The game's nothing more than a teaching tool in life. The next time you struggle, next time you strike out, next time you make a mistake, you need to rub that wristband on your arm just like we did 26 years ago. And understand there's more important things in life. This is a game of failure, and the most important thing the game of baseball teaches us is how to respond to adversity. There's no other game in the world that creates so much failure, and in there lies that beauty. And don't get me wrong, I want to win more than anyone probably standing here in this facility. But we're blessed to be able to have the opportunity to teach kids how to handle that failure and adversity, so when they become an adult, they can hit the ground running. Parents, we need to understand that a loss hurts and stings is a whole lot more. It bothers us a whole lot more than it does those boys. The memories these boys will have are not the wins and losses, but the things we did after those losses and failures. They'll remember that pool party, the games of cup ball outside the center field fence that only the guys standing on this line will even know what I'm talking about, and the relationships that were formed. To be completely honest, I remember very little of that state championship run. My memories of that My memories are of a man that's in the third base dugout that allowed a team full of 10-year-olds to pile into his minivan, about 11 of us, then proceeded to teach a different player how to drive each day to our state tournament games, all while pumping the brakes back and forth, blaring to Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It." That is my biggest memory of my 10-year-old season. This event aside. I remember Steve Simmons teaching me how to properly shake someone's hand. And to this day, I credit him for my firm handshake. I remember our very own prosecuting attorney and Judge Chris Childs teaching me the value of how important it is, no matter how old you are, to never let your child win, ever, at anything. Many, many ping pong games lost to that man. My practices are not remembered by rundowns and rounds of infield, but the fun we had when the legend of Rick Stoller threw you a pop-up that left the atmosphere, which most of us still could not catch today. These adults and the drive and demeanor and attitudes they instilled in each of us, combined with the angel in the infield, pushed us to win the only state championship in Cabell Midland's history in 2003. Jason was tired of seeing us mope around and he hated to lose. Subconsciously, Jason pushed us to get our heads out of our butt, and he was not going to sit back and watch Jefferson County or Fairmont do anything other than get back on the bus for a very long ride home in 2003. That season was dedicated to Jason and was further proof that we needed him to win. He was in all of our hearts. And we all carried him on our left arm every game we played from our 12-year-old season through college. Jason was a competitor. He led team breakdowns and cheers. Most importantly, he was a hell of a friend. Today's a special day. Today we honor number 15. At this time, I would like to have Jason's parents, Chick and Dixie Hensley, as well as the rest of Jason's family, please come out to the pitcher's mound. Jason's cousin, Chase Day, the best catcher in Cabell Midland's history, and if Jay Gaskins and Charlie Robinson, if you're here, I'm sorry if your feelings are hurt. Now, in Jay and Charlie's defense, Chase was very fortunate to have the best second baseman in the state in Cabell Midland's history keep most of his stray throws from finding their way to the outfield. Before throwing out the first pitch, I would like all of our major boys that were able to be here this morning to turn around. Today we have several games, of which every one of them will be honoring Jason with the number 15. Now if I can direct everybody's attention to the press box. To the left, you're going to see a picture of Jason that's been hanging on the backstop behind home plate for many years. I have no idea who made that. Thank you. Many of us have seen this sign over the years, and now we know what it means to the community. Next to the sign will be forever the jersey of Jason Hensley. Over the last 26 years, it has been a gentleman's agreement that nobody will wear this number during All-Stars, but now it will be official. After this first pitch, no player will ever again wear the number 15 during All-Stars, nor regular season. At this time, Jason's mother is going to throw out the first pitch. I have Patrick Wagner, the rest of our teammates and parents who I would like to come out here. And we have a plaque that we would like to represent or to present to Jason's family from the players from the 95, 96, 97 season that were able to be here, the community of Harvardsville. I once again would like to thank everyone for coming. And today, let's play ball.